Hi, I'm Gordon, and I am half of the Mangini studio.
He's the face of Mangini Studio. I am Terry. I am the photographer of
the
Mangini.
brain.
I am the sparkle and twinkle in his eye in the Mangini Studio portraits.
The origin story for Mangini Studio has its beginnings in my teaching at VCU. It was my habit when I was teaching to close each particular class with an assignment that was portfolio based. And so one spring, now 14 years ago or so, I was maybe hard up for ideas, or I don't know exactly, maybe out of time. I usually used to go in the dark room and make X number of prints for my students. In this case, I had a lot of hair. I think I was ready to cut it off, and so I went and got a perm at a private session in Carytown, and I then went to Dementi Studio where Terry Brown was working. I didn't know Terry particularly well. I think we'd met maybe previously, but I basically wanted to get a headshot, and then I was going to sign that headshot like a megalomaniac, for Jeffrey, our time together was awesome, or thanks for the amoxicillin, it's working pretty good, or I had this idea I was just going to share these kind of promiscuously with my class. And when I met Terry, we just really hit it off, and so I enjoyed her immensely, and came back probably, I don't know, a month or so later with something else going on.
Yeah, it was like, oh, that was fun. Let's see if we can, let's do something else.
It was a slow cooking sort of thing. 8 years probably in the making, and when I'd have my hair like to a point where I could do something new with it, I would go visit her again. But I don't know, maybe a couple years later we had 8 or 9 or 10 or something, and they started to kind of cohere into a project maybe. We were not real serious at the outset, but we were eventually paying attention or more intentional what we were doing, and so you start to think about that tradition of self-portraiture, and we decided that the through line for these pieces was going to be sincerity, like something that was moderately believable, even though we lose our way sometimes. I think that certain images are kind of sort of off the rails a little bit. But the sense was that it wasn't a put on or a costume per se. It was trying to pass, I think, as something that if you encountered it in the real, you might just like accept it.
I would place these people like they're all Gordon, but like the governor gets a certain treatment, and the guy who was taking his picture for the church bulletin gets a certain treatment. And so that's how I would approach it with the lighting, and even talking to him to like, do you stand up proud and regal like you're crossing the Delaware, or do you just sit there reluctantly, or are you pretty today? So those, I would have to caress his ego.
So a few things did happen, just kind of spur of the moment. But generally it took some time to manicure or manifest a specific look. It was a drag of sorts at times, for sure. Certain looks were irreversible. I had to wear my mother's hairstyle for about 3 weeks. Other times it was easy, you just kind of like mess it up or pull it back or something, but that was a kind of a strange one to sort of live with. It was hard.
It's a test of other people's grace.
That's right.
That's what it is. Yeah, I'm pleased with it.
Yeah, those outtakes are dangerous though.